Hi guys, here's part 6. Okay, so I always say I'm going to talk about one topic only, and then I always end up kind of segueing into something else. Sorry, I mentioned this in one of the videos. My brain is literally all over the place. I also have ADHD, which makes it like 10 times worse. So again, bear with me here. So this one is just like, not tips and trips. See? Tips and tricks. I can't think. It's also quite late here too, so that doesn't help. Anyways, some tips and some tricks. I was trying to kind of get into some things that can help you. I don't own all the contraptions that I need to help me on a regular basis. I'm in the process of trying to get some. It takes a while. You have to have doctors that are willing to help you. You have to have, therapists that know where to buy certain things. And you have to find out if you have coverage for certain things. Anyway, so there are, for people, okay, so most men don't really dry their hair with like a hair dryer unless you have longer hair and you like to style it a certain way. But I'm gearing this more towards women and the men that have longer hair and actually do use a hair dryer, and who are suffering with this disease. Okay, so I haven't used one yet. I've heard good things about them. I actually don't really like drying my hair very often. I try my best to, but I'm in pain when I'm done. So there actually apparently are, there's these stands that you can buy. So there's a stand, it attaches to or has weight or something. But basically what it is, it has a flexible arm. And it sort of, okay, so basically what it is you actually sit your hairdryer in it and you turn the hairdryer on. And it stands on your counter behind you. So you can adjust height, I think, and flexibility, and you can kind of set it the way you want to set it. And then you just stand there and let it dry, and then you can just use the one hand. You can switch hands, and if your one arm gets tired, and just style your hair that way, so that you don't have to hold the hairdryer. Because most of the problem I have is the weight and the motion of trying to blow dry my hair and try to get around everything. It's hard and it's frustrating. So most times I just let it air dry. Straightening my hair, I just push myself through it and I straighten. I don't do like I put it all up and I do like strand by strand. I get all fancy. I literally just take a massive amount, straighten as best I can. As long as there's no like fluff, I really don't care. I was never really a girly girl to begin with. Like I was never one that really just did my hair, partly because I was more of a tomboy growing up, and partly because I never really knew how to do like the curls and the waves and all the fun fancy things. And I had a mom who had short hair and didn't do a lot of like stuff, so I didn't really have someone who I could watch do their hair all the time. And another thing is I wasn't lazy. I was tired in the morning, so to go to school, it was just easier. Hair up or hair down, doesn't matter. I really didn't care. I never really had anyone to impress. I never really, like, when you're going to school, I'm sorry, high school girls that are able to do their hair right now, all the power to you that you're able to wake up and do your hair and makeup and get all presented. But to be honest, it's freaking high school. Like, there's really no need. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to class to learn stuff. There's, like, honestly, you're going from class to class. Like, if you feel that you need to impress other people, or if you feel that it makes you feel better to get all done up, like I said, all the power to you. I'm not judging you because, I wish I could have been like you and a bit more girly and a bit more done up. But to be honest, I didn't care, and I was tired. I was too exhausted in the morning to really spend the time or wake up early enough to spend the time to do it, so it didn't bother me. But anyways, in this disease, I'm sorry, you're going to have to learn to love yourself the way you are. And that's hard. A lot of us have been using makeup since we were hit puberty, and sometimes before that. We're used to covering everything up, and unfortunately the media adds a lot to that, makes us think that we have to. I was never a makeup girl, I would do a bit on my eyes, the odd time I'd do my lips, didn't really do blush. I blush naturally enough on my own, I don't really need it. But I was never really interested in makeup that much, so it was easier for me to transition once I had my surgeries and I couldn't do it as much anymore. But for others, I know it's hard. Essentially, you're going to have to find alternatives. So if you're used to spending an hour doing makeup, hate to break it to you, kid, but when you have as much pain as you have in your arm, holding your arm up and holding little tiny brushes and little tiny makeup applicators and trying to do this for an hour hurts. You will be putting yourself in unnecessary pain. I'm sorry, it's true. You're beautiful the way you are. You know, I literally spend maybe 15, 20 minutes maximum if I'm doing makeup. Majority of the time, most people don't believe me. Like when I've met guys at parties, because I usually have done my eyes up a little bit, most people don't believe me that I don't wear makeup naturally. 99% of the time, I don't wear makeup. If I'm going out somewhere nice, or if I'm going on a date, or if I'm wanting to look nice, yeah, I'll do some of my eyes. It's literally just a bit of eyeshadow one color, a bit of darker on the crease, and a little bit of darker on the edges, and that's it. I sometimes do a little bit of highlighting. I don't use any concealer, any cover-up, nothing. It's just eyeshadow, eyeliner, and mascara. That's it. That's all I use. It takes me very little time. It helps me a lot for my pain. Another thing is learning how to do hairstyles that are a little easier. I can't do the curling iron. I can't. It's too hard for me. I wish I could. Can't. So sometimes getting a friend to help you, or just learning to maybe just do scrunching with some mousse to get a little bit of waves. You're going to have to change the way that you do things, and it sucks. It honestly, in all fairness, it sucks really bad. Again, dressing yourself. I mentioned this prior. Dressing yourself, you're going to have to learn not to dress in certain clothes because certain clothes are just a little bit more difficult. If you're able to do it, go ahead. Like, I'm not telling you to change the way your style or anything. For me, I wear jeans. Yeah, I wear jeans. I wear jeans that are a little bit loose, a tiny bit loose, because it's easier for me to do them up that way. I actually would prefer to wear tights or sweatpants the majority of the time because I'm more comfortable that way. Even if it's jeggings, stuff that look like jeans, but they're just, they pull on. Stuff that doesn't involve a lot of doing up. You'll find that you're more conscious about this than you thought you would be when you're shopping. When you're shopping and you're trying on clothes, I'll tell you that right now, I don't know what it is about this disease, or maybe it could just be me, and because I have other health issues, but I find that I get tired doing things a lot faster. Like, pardon me, I used to hate trying on clothes, but I could be there for an hour and I'd be fine. After my surgery, I literally get out of breath after like two outfits. I'm done. 2 outfits, and I see the amount of clothes I still have to try on, and I'm just like, F this. I don't want to do this. I'm literally dreading these types of things because I'm just out of breath. I'm tired, putting my arms over my head, trying to do things up. I don't have the patience for it. I don't have the energy for it. I found since surgery, especially since I've had 2 surgeries and I've been through hell and back with both of them, and I'm still in excruciating pain 24/7, I'm just very little patience for anything. Now, the tips and tricks, I'm sorry, this is a little bit of a depressing video, but there's the only tips I can really give you is find what works for you. You're going to know what your limitations are, and you're going to know what makes things easier for you. For example, I look like a child when I hold certain things, and I hold cups and glasses, especially glasses. Okay, if I'm holding a glass cup, I'm holding it with 2 hands. And the reason why I say this, and you're going to find this out the hard way, there are the very few times where your hand will cramp, shake, and then give out. So suddenly, that cup that was in my hand is now on the floor in pieces. So I'm learning, here's a really important trick. If you live on your own, don't be embarrassed to have plastic glasses. They save your life. Trust me, it's embarrassing and it's frustrating when you drop anything and breaks. And it's because you can't help it. It's not you just being careless. It's your body just doesn't feel like holding on to it and it lets it go. It's natural. So that's a really important tip. Don't be afraid or embarrassed to have things that are plastic in your home. It really helps you a lot. So I'm going to transfer into the next video now, and I'm going to talk about some other stuff too. Okay? I hope some of those things helped. Bye!